Hello, my Acro students. This is Miss Sandy. Welcome to our next virtual Acro class for April 30th. Can't believe it's the end of the month already, and May is about to begin, but here we are. I hope you've had an opportunity to get outside and enjoy some of the nice weather that we've had recently. I know I had the opportunity to go outside and do my workouts or my exercises outside, go for a run, by myself, of course, keeping in mind social distancing. Did some yard work, getting some fresh air, and I hope that you have an opportunity to do that as well. But here we are, and I'm looking forward to introducing some new exercises, conditioning drills for you tonight. And I'm going to walk you through those, but first I want to go through a couple of things like I do every week. First, I hope you had an opportunity to view and complete all of the previous classes that I had put out there for you. And actually, if you can do them more than once, that would be great. They're there for you to do at any time. Even pick and choose the exercises that you thought that were most effective for you and repeat those. I think it would be a really great idea. I'm trying as hard as I can to shake things up every class and do different exercises so that it doesn't become too boring. Or so that you can go back and do all the other previous classes without too much duplication. So please go back and review them. Also, wanted to check in on the plank challenge that I introduced the very first class, the virtual class, that I recommended trying a plank every day and increasing your time. I thought I would share that as of this morning. I'm up to 3 minutes and 55 seconds. I have found that while the last minute or two is a little difficult, the first couple of minutes are getting easier. So I know that I'm making very positive progress. So I'm looking forward to hearing how you guys are faring and if you've been successful in increasing your time and how far you got. So hopefully I'll be able to learn about that soon. Now the administrative type things I want to address. First, before you begin any of these exercises I'm going to share with you, please make sure that you're dressed appropriately, and please make sure that you have a safe place to do them. So for example, I'm in my basement. It's kind of my setup right now. And this is a flooring I probably wouldn't recommend for you. I actually don't have carpeting all that much in my house. So this is gonna do for me today. I do have a very thin carpeting, but I wouldn't recommend this. I would recommend either the grass, if it's nice outside, to do a lot of these things, or a padded, if you have a mat, awesome. If you don't, like cushiony carpeting would be completely fine, okay? I wanna make sure we stay safe. Beware of anything around you, nothing breakable, nothing hard that you could fall on or hurt yourself against, okay? Just wanna keep safety in mind, okay? The next thing is, I always say this too, listen to your body. I give you a certain exercise to do and repetitions. If something hurts, stop. You may be doing it incorrectly, right? Where you don't want to hurt yourself, or you just might not have gotten to the point where you can do that many reps that I provide, that I recommended. And also conversely, if you can do more reps, do them, right? Sometimes the idea is to fatigue a muscle, and you want to make sure that that's happening, or else it may not be as effective as it could be. Okay? So I guess that's it. I do have a couple of things I'm going to use to help me today. I'll introduce them as we get there, and maybe you can pause the video and go grab what you need. There's a few things that I may recommend that you try. Everything can be done without the use of a prop, I'll call it, but you have the option too. When we get there, I can explain each option. With that, we'll get started. I'm going to, as always, introduce a skill, explain it, sometimes demonstrate it, but not always. And I do have or show you a video of it. I have that as well. And then I want you to pause the video, execute the activity, and then rejoin to learn what the next activity is. Okay? As always, I like to kind of run through them, and that way you also have a little snapshot if you want it to come back to. So let me come down here. For this week, we have, and again, I always put here's reminders for myself too, and you may need quality and safety. So quality over quantity. We want to do them good, everything with good form and safely. Okay, so those are good reminders for me. Okay, we're gonna stretch. We do every week a couple of things. They're repetitive, and I apologize for that, but I kind of want to make sure that we hit the key areas so we can move on into some other important things. Second thing is we're gonna really work our glutes actually. We're gonna do some squat walks and I'll show you what that looks like. And actually some ways to make it more challenging should you have the certain things at home to help you. Here we're gonna, number 3, we're gonna do some spider walks and jumps, okay? 4, we're gonna do something similar. We did something similar maybe the second virtual class, but we're going to work on some core muscles and we're gonna start in a push-up position and drag our feet to a tuck. But we'll go through that and explain it. We're gonna do some Russian twists for our abs. We're gonna do a very challenging push-up. I had learned them, they were called Japanese push-ups when they were introduced to me many, many years ago, but really I call them sweep push-ups. So just in case you had heard of them before under the name Japanese push-up, but I've been calling them the sweep push-ups and I'll demonstrate it terribly, mind you. One for me is success, but we'll walk through it. We're gonna do a Superman hold. We're gonna really strengthen our back muscles a little bit here and our core actually. We're gonna do a drill of the week. And then we're gonna do just a little bit of stretching just to kind of cool down. And then I'm gonna introduce 2 challenges that I want you to try. And yeah, I guess that's it. So, hopefully I can read that. Again, I don't have my glasses on, but that's not abnormal. So I'm not gonna demonstrate the stretches. This is our first activity. I know all of you can do this, but I do want a couple of reminders. I want you to hold first stretch, right? You know how to stretch your straddles and your splits and your backs. Mandatory, you must do that or you could hurt yourself. Once you do that, I want you to hold each split, right and left, for 1 minute. And I want you to time it. I want to make sure you're holding it for a minute. Keeping in mind your front knee should always be looking at the ceiling, your back knee should always be pointed towards the floor, and your front foot should be pointed, okay? Always, always. And keep your chest up nice and tall. Okay, so that's each split. And your straddle, we didn't do these last week, but your straddle, you know the drill. You slide out and you put your elbows on the floor, if not your chest, okay? The chest would be better because it really keeps gravity helping you versus you relying on your arms to give a little resistance. If you don't do your chest on the floor, let gravity work by pulling you gently to the floor, okay? Don't resist it because it is actually counterproductive, okay? So I want you to do those each for 1 minute. Right split, left split, and straddle for 3 minutes total. In addition, last week I showed you a video, actually it was a picture of a bridge against a wall where your hands are against the wall and your chest is all the way against the wall. And really quick, I want to, maybe I can remind you what that picture is right here because I happen to have it up, okay? Hopefully you can see that. I know there's a glare. This, so legs together, knees straight, and your chest against the wall, okay? Armpits especially, hopefully all the way up to your rib cage. I know that's extremely difficult, but that's what we're aiming for. And I want you to try and hold that for 30 seconds, okay? So splits, straddle, bridge, do all of those. Pause the video, go do them, and then come back, and we'll start our second exercise. Okay. All right. So for our second exercise, I shared that we were going to be doing squat walks. Now that's why I put sneakers on today, only because my floor is slippery and I will fall. And it's specific for this exercise. If you're on carpet, you don't need it, okay? I'm going to show you a couple, 2 different ways to do this. That's why I have something over here that's going to help me. I'm going to show you the body weight, no extra resistance version, and that's the one I want you to do. But I would also, if you have a resistance band by chance, I'll show you what it looks like with that. So in case you have it and your parents allow you to use it, then you can use it. Okay, so really the idea is we're really gonna work our glutes and our thighs here, okay? So what we're gonna do is let me tell you how many we're gonna do. First, we're gonna go into a squat and we're gonna side step 5 steps to the left, 5 steps to the right. And that's a set of 1, okay? That's very important because I want you to do 10 sets. So 10 times, I want you to go right and left, okay? So I'll show you 2 sets without any resistance. Let me make sure you can see my feet. I'm actually gonna turn this down a little bit so you can, there we go. Okay, so now remember a good squat, right? Your legs are just shoulder width, if not maybe a tiny bit more, right? You're gonna push your hips, it's cold in my basement, so I keep the sweater. You're gonna push your hips back and you want your hips to drop down to knee level, okay? So my hips are gonna go back, and I'm gonna drop to knee level, okay? So my hips go back, and I drop to knee level. Notice my chest is up. I'm not hunched over, okay? I'm up here, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm gonna get into that position, I'm gonna side step that way, 5, and then come back 5, okay? So remember, you're gonna go squat, right? We're gonna go, don't move your upper body. You don't wanna bounce. You're just gonna go step, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? That's 1. The idea is don't stand up, do it again, okay? I actually said I was gonna show you 2 sets and I didn't, but anyway, okay? The idea is to keep your chest up and to hold this level position the whole time and not move up and down when you're sidestepping, okay? Because you're really gonna feel it here and even potentially here, okay? Now, what I wanna show you too is if you have some sort of resistance bands or, I guess that's what I would call them, okay? And actually, I have to take my feet back out. This is all I have left and it's tied, as you can see, in a knot because I keep breaking it. I think, I don't know if they wear out or I've just been using them a lot more than normal. I'm gonna have to sit down or else I will fall and then you guys can make fun of me. Okay, now, mine was long enough I had to put it around twice, but, so the idea here, this is what I was doing today, for my own personal self, is do the same thing. You get into that squat, and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then again, and back, 10 times, okay? Again, don't need the resistance band. You'll still feel it, but it is an option if you happen to have one. Okay, so pause the video, and I want you to do 10 sets, back and forth, and then come back. All right. The third thing we're doing today, spider walks and jumps. Many of you know, I do not do those anymore. I've already shared that. A lot of bending in my back is not something I do a lot of. So, but I want you to. So, the idea here is how many, okay. If you are pretty flexible, I want you to try both of these. If you're not and you're still working on it, I just want you to do the walks, okay? But here's what they both are. The spider walks is you push up into a bridge, right? And then you would walk, hands and feet going the same direction. The idea is to go hands first for 10 steps, okay? And then I want you to go feet first for 10 steps, okay? If that is not very challenging for you, I want you to do the same thing, but you're going to hop your hands and your feet. So you get into your bridge and you hop your hands towards, your hands, and then jump your feet in. Jump your hands, jump your feet, going in the same direction. And then reverse it, go feet first, okay? So remember, you can walk or jump, hands first in the direction of your hands, 10 times, and then 10 times in the direction of your feet. It's gonna really get your back really moving and activated. So I want you to give that a try. Again, not demonstrating that. I think you understand the concept. We've all done spider walks in class, so you all know what that is. Adding the one layer complexity with a jump for some of you who feel comfortable trying to jump your hands. Okay? So with that, pause the video and then come back and we'll move on to number 4. Okay. So for number 4, I'm actually taking off my shoes because I actually need to be able to slide. So if you're on carpet, you could use a paper plate. Anything that actually would slide across the floor to put your feet on. Even a piece of paper I think would work if you don't have paper plates laying around, but something that would allow you to slide. Okay, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we did this in a straddle position to prep for press handstands. Today we're doing it in tuck position. So I felt that was a good enough exercise that if we did it in a different position and still really work our core, that it wouldn't be boring for you to repeat. Again, it's slightly different, but same concept. Okay, so that's why I need a slippery surface. So this time we're going to get up and get a push-up position. Okay, and you are going to keep your feet together, keep your bottom down. It's going to raise a little bit with this, but you're going to slide your feet in, slide your feet out, slide your feet in, slide your feet out. Okay, keeping that nice form and nice push-up position. I can't speak today apparently. Nice push-up position. And I want you to do 10 in a row, in and out. Rest for a moment, and then do 10 in a row again, in and out. Okay? And see if you can start feeling that. Even in your shoulders, because you're holding yourself up and you're trying to hold yourself steady and keeping your hips down and engaging that core. I think that you'll enjoy this one. I know I personally like that one. So with that, pause the video and give that a try and then come back. Getting a lot of supplies for this next one to show you different variations. Okay. I'm only putting a towel on the floor. This is a very hard floor and it's going to hurt my tailbone if I don't. So this is my makeshift little carpeting I can put down. You don't need it. So if you're using a carpeted area, even the grass has more give. So I wouldn't worry about that. But I know it would hurt me. So I'm going to move back a little bit first. Okay. We're going to do Russian twists as our 5th exercise, okay? Now, I don't know why they're called that, because really it's just like a different variation of a crunch, but engaging the obliques a little bit with twisting, okay? So what we're going to do is I will show you one without any props, and then show you how you can make it more challenging for yourself, okay? So what this is I'm sitting on my bottom, obviously. I'm going to lean back slightly, and I'm going to lift my feet up off the floor. And I'm slightly leaning back. I'm going to have to show you sideways because I don't know if you can actually see very well. Okay? So, I'm leaning back slightly, lifting my feet. Okay? This is my starting position. From here, I'm just going to keep my hands kind of one on top of the other, and I'm going to point and push each of my elbows one at a time towards the floor. So I'm going to go twist, back, twist, back. Now, that's one. Okay? So that's what it is. Okay, that's the movement. You're going to go right, center, left, center. Right, center, left, center. Keeping your legs under control. The reason I have these here is to add a little weight to it. That may not be challenging enough. I want you to try that. How many do I have here? 10. Right and left is 1. So it'll end up being 20 total movements. I want you to do 10 of those. Rest. Okay? And if that doesn't feel very challenging for you, consider adding almost a weight to your hands, okay? So I have 3 options here for me personally. I have a water bottle full of water that's actually got some weight to it, okay? I also have a Globetrotters basketball sign. I don't know where we got this. And I actually happen to have weights at home. So if your parents are comfortable with using weights, if you have them, you can feel free to use that. So really quick, here's how I would do it with each of these as examples. And you can use many other things. So I'm holding the bottle sideways like this, right? And I'm right, center, left, center. It's adding just a little bit of weight for you to drag back up, okay? The same option with the ball is I'm trying to get the ball close to the floor, okay? And then with the weight, similar to the bottle, this has actually got more weight to it than my bottle did, but I'm holding it. And I'm going to do the same thing, right, center, left, center, okay? 10 in a row with holding whatever object that you choose to hold, okay? So the idea is you can do it with nothing, or you can do it with something that adds a little bit of weight. And I want you to do 10, rest, do 10 again, okay? I think that's all yep. So it ends up being 40 movements, because 10 to each side is 20, rest, and then the same thing again. So that's what I would like you to do. So I'm going to get rid of my props. I want you to give those Russian twists a shot, and then, so pause the video, do them, and then come back and join me. number 6. This is the one I was slightly dreading. Well, actually, there's a couple I'm slightly dreading. This one, I'm going to do my best attempt at showing you what this is. Again, if you've ever heard of something called a Japanese push-up, I know we've done them in class, but rarely. They're very, very difficult. And I also know that, if you've heard them, that's what I know. I learned them under that name. I call them sweep push-ups. I feel like I'm sweeping the floor with my face, although that sounds a little strange, but true. Okay, so it looks like I got an alert popping up on my, let's get rid of that. I don't know if you can see it on my computer. Okay, so let me give this a try. I'm gonna move this so you can see my body positioning, which probably will not be perfect, okay? Now, I was gonna give you a number. I'm gonna still give you a number, but for me, again, I think I mentioned this earlier, doing one of these is success, right? And I did them earlier just to practice, so I don't actually know if I'm gonna be successful because I think my arms are a little tired, but I will try. The idea here is, and I know we did shoulder push-ups not that long ago where we were in this position, right? And we just went down and up, right? So we're gonna start in a very similar position. Well, I'm gonna tell you now because I don't know if I can talk in the middle of it. What you're gonna do is you're going to be in that position I just showed you. You're going to lower your nose to the floor and sweep down through to almost a seal stretch, but you're not touching the floor with your legs, okay? That's the easy part. Got that, right? The hard part is completely reversing that motion. So while you're in your seal stretch, or while you're in this position, and I'll show you how to get there, you have to go back to how you started, but not just lifting your hips like that, okay? So it's sweeping your chest and your nose back on the floor. So here we go. And you can have your dads try this. This is hard. Okay, so I should have kept my sneakers on actually for this one. Okay, so I'm up in this position, right? I'm going to put my nose down, sweep the floor, but I'm still not touching anything, okay? Now I have to go backwards. So I need to bring my chest down as I lower my hips and sweep back up, which not a complete failure. I wouldn't call that a great success either. And I actually don't even know what it looked like because I couldn't see it and do it at the same time. But I think you get the idea. Again, it's not just lifting your hips up off the floor into that like TP position, right? It is sweeping your chest and your nose and then pushing yourself back up. That's one, right? I originally, before I practiced these, had asked you to do 10. If you can do 10, that would be absolutely amazing. And maybe make that an aspirational goal. Try a couple of these and see what you think. Again, very challenging. This is a type of push-up that one of my gymnastics coaches gave to me when I was young. Of course, a lot easier for me then than it is now. But it was definitely challenging. So I want you to give it a try, and I'm calling them the sweep push-ups. I feel like I'm sweeping the floor with my nose and then pulling it back. So go pause the video, give a couple of those a try, and don't give up after the first one. If you're not quite getting the motion, just give it a try a couple times and see how close you get. Okay, so pause the video and then come right back. Okay. So, let me see. My kids are about to interrupt they have a workout scheduled for 5 o'clock in the other room. So my apologies if they make an appearance. So just like you are trying to stay active, I have my boys signed up for virtual weightlifting classes. So they're actually going to be going into the other room behind me, making a lot of racket, I'm sure, and doing their 5 to 6 p.m. weightlifting class. So, all right, with that, let's move on to number 7. This is actually going to be a sequence that you're going to have to remember to actually, it's going to require a little bit of brain power, but not that much. Like, this is something you can definitely handle. So, Superman hold, okay? I actually grew up calling this a tightness position. So you're going to go into a Superman type position. You're going to hold it for 1 second. So, piece of cake, right? You're going to hold it for 1 second. You're going to immediately roll over to your back and do a crunch, just one, okay? Roll over to your stomach, go into the Superman hold for 2 seconds. Roll back over, do 2 crunches. Roll back over, Superman for 3. I think you might be getting the idea. Okay, you're going to do each one 1 through 10. Did I have? And then back down. So once you get up to holding it for 10 and then doing 10 crunches, instead of being done, you have to work your way back down to 1. So then you do it for 9 seconds, roll over 9 crunches, 8 seconds, roll over 8 crunches. Okay, so you're gonna work your way up to 10 and then back down from 10. And this is a series, I already know for next week something very similar, the series, different skills, where you start at 1 and work your way back up and then work your way back down. We're gonna use this again next week. I already have big plans for you. Okay, so I'll demonstrate a couple of them just so you get the idea and you understand what a Superman hold is and what I'm talking about exactly. Okay, so, okay, it's on, let me see. So, I'm gonna go on my stomach here, okay? Yep. And a Superman hold, can you see me? Yes? The idea is your legs are let together and tight and toes are pointed, your arms are up by your ears, okay? So Superman hold is you lift up your arms and your chest and your legs up to your thighs. So you're flying like Superman, okay? So you're gonna go up like this, hold 1, roll over, crunch 1, roll back over, hold 1, 2, roll back over, 1, 2. Okay, and then lift up, hold 3, 1, 2, 3, and roll back over, 1, 2, 3. And roll back over for 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you are exhausted at that point, again, listen to your body. If not, I really want you to go back down, right? Trust me, it'll be very satisfying when you get back down to that 1 and you're like, I did it, okay? So this is engaging your back muscles, and during that Superman, you're really using those to pull up your chest and your legs, and then your core and your abs for those crunches, okay? So with that, I'm going to pause, and I want you to give that a whirl, and then come back. Okay. All right, the 8th thing we always do is a drill of the week. Something different that I want us to target. I'm actually this is gonna depend on your skill level to do this. I am going to give you the complex one first, and then if you